Go into your working folder and open up Magic Wand PSD, and we used that one in the previous lesson, and open up a new one called RefineEdge.psd. We are going to look at a feature that I really do like, and it is called Refine Edge. Refine Edge helps refine the edge of whatever you're trying to do or select. In this case, hair can be a very hairy thing to select. I want to get her out of that background, and I want to put her up against the American flag. Now, it could be a brick wall, it could be anything you want. So what do I do to get that done? Well, I have to start and make a rough selection so Refine Edge has something to work with. I'm thinking that rather than try to make some kind of really difficult selection around that hair, since the hair is a different color than the background, maybe we can select the background with the magic wand and then inverse the selection. Let's try that. Let's come over here. Let's pick up the magic wand. Let's do a tolerance of about 45. Sample size 3 by 3. Contiguous and anti-aliasing on. I'm going to come over here and click. And I'm going to do some shift clicking. Just like that. Till I get what I think I want. Let's do the same thing over here. I'm still holding the shift key down. Looks like it got pretty much what I wanted over there. Now there are some smaller areas in here and over here that I might want to go ahead and take care of now. And so let's go ahead and get in those. Nope, too much. I'm going to press undo. We'll leave that alone and let Refine Edge handle that part. So there is a rough selection. Go up to the word select on the pull-down menu and go down to inverse. So we have her selected, which is what we want. If we make a mask now, it's going to look pretty bad. We need to refine that edge. So let's go up to the word select or click Refine Edge here. Doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to get to the same place. Refine Edge. Now, what I love about this feature, it's showing it to me against the image if that's what I want. If I click here, I have choices of, well, whatever. Anything I want to look at. I'm going to leave it on white for now. Now, over here, you have a paintbrush tool, and you have something called Smart Radius. Now, watch what happens when I turn this on, and I start moving the radius. Watch the image. It's trying to make the selection for me by softening it up. It does a pretty good job. Now, we can do it another way. Let's go ahead and take that back down and turn that off. We can use the paintbrush tool. Now, the paintbrush tool does have a width. You can use your left or right bracket keys. That's the easiest way to change its size. And then come over here and paint on the image, kind of like half on, half off. And as you can see, what it's doing is it's attempting to find and soften up that edge for me. This is a neat tool to work with. We're not done. We're just getting started, but it's a pretty cool tool to work with. Okay, let's say we like that. We want to see what it looks like. So we go ahead and come down here. We'll deal with these in a minute. We can come down and say output to a selection. I want to output it to a layer mask because I like control. You could have a new layer with a mask. Up to you. Just layer mask. Click OK. Check that out. Now, I don't like what it did over here, but what I'm going to do anyway is pick up my move tool, and I'm going to move her over to somewhere about like that. That's not too bad. Now try or even think about trying to make a selection around hair that looks believable using things like lassos. It would drive you crazy. So Refine Edge really helped us out here, and we made a mask so we have control. Let's go to Magic Wand PSD. If you didn't save the mask that you made from the previous lesson, I got you covered. If you go into Channels, I've got it right here. I want to make that a selection. So I'm going to select RGB up here and Control or Command if you're on a Mac, Control in Windows, click. And there you go. You got the selection. Now what I want to do next is inverse the selection because I want the pyramid. So we'll go to Select, Inverse. Now make your mask. Let's go back to Layers. Go into Great Pyramid and make the mask. Not too bad. It looks okay, but it's maybe not exactly what I want. So here's the trick. Double-click on the mask, and it opens up the mask properties. Now you have a density setting. That's the density of the mask. If I move it this way, it reduces the density of the mask until I go all the way, and, well, I got my sky back again. I don't want the clouds that intense, so I think I will lower the density just a little bit, maybe something like that. Now, I don't want a feather, Feather softens the mask. We don't want to do that. Click here on Mask Edge. Now this time, I'm going to click up here, and I want to see it against the image itself. I want to see that image. So let's go here, and there it is. I can now control it and see if I like it. Now down here, you have a smoothing option, a feather, a contrast, and a shift edge. If I go to smooth, that's very subtle, but it's smoothing out the jagged nature, if it has one, of that edge. Feathering, I don't want to feather, but I'll show it to you. Softens the edge. Don't want to do that. Contrast will be more visible on the cap up here, if you watch up here when I change it. Gives it just a little bit more definition. So I want a little bit of contrast, about 25. Now I can shift the edge. Some images, based on their selection, are not quite on the edge that you want, and you can shift that edge if you want to. Let's put that back to 0. I think we're okay on our edge. Now you can choose decontaminate colors, which actually helps it blend in with the image behind it. In our case, we really don't need it, mainly because we did have a blue sky back there in the first place. And I do want it on a layer mask. Click OK, and there you go. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you need to make a really detailed selection, don't forget that you have Refine Edge to help you out, whether it actually is a selection that we started with on this one, or it's a mask on this one. Doesn't matter. You've got control.